Hey everyone, this is Sumi from the Mochi Cloud, and if it's your first time watching, thank you so much for joining, and if you've already subscribed, thank you for coming back. We are going to do September planner flip through. Just a very high level overview of the yearly calendar or the yearly Calendex pages. It was an okay month, I would say. There has been really weird ups and downs as well for this month, so which we will delve into in a bit. But yes, I did have some references that I had to make for my small business and also some medical information onto the monthlies. And technically speaking, I am a very messy planner when it comes to my monthlies. For now, what I have been doing, and it's okay for now, is basically writing out what I want to achieve at a very high level on the monthly pages on the left, this side. And I have been able to use this page in a way to map out my YouTube videos. So I usually upload a video on Sunday in the mornings, I guess 10 or 11 a.m. I did have my 1 year shop anniversary on the September 17th, so I just wrote that 1 year anniversary for TMC, which is the Mochi Cloud. On to the weeklies. I think the first few weeks of September were very busy for me because I had to prepare for my 1 year anniversary of my shop. So these couple of pages are kind of jam-packed with stuff that I had to do. The last week of September was kind of not very efficient for me, and we will get into that in a bit. And I did have some notes for myself, so that's where we are. All right, now on to the dailies. This is my September cover page. And I don't know how this happened, but I feel like this, I tried to draw, a post box, the Japanese post boxes that you see. It's actually bright, supposed to be bright red, but I don't have a really bright red marker, which is something that I probably need to look into. But yeah, so I was kind of inspired by a manga, an anime called Noragami. If you've caught up with the manga, you would know that it's pretty intense right now. So I was thinking of drawing the pose box because there is a relevance of that image in the manga, and I also felt that this is kind of very appropriate because September is planner month, and I did purchase items from Hobonichi, so it is kind of appropriate that I would put a post box from Japan because I'm expecting Japanese post. So this is just an excerpt from one of the later chapters of Noragami. I generally, when I started the month, I would just write, I would use one of my Tombow markers, and these are tiny sticker sheets, tiny sakura stickers that you get in my store. This is what I've used. I would write today, I would highlight it under, and I would use one of these stickers. And you will see later in the planner spreads how this kind of starts changing. And because this portion starts getting heavy since I've started putting stickers, so it's just interesting to see that. September 1st and 2nd, I have been, since one of the most important things for the month of September was my 1 year anniversary, I was trying to brainstorm ideas on what I need to do, and not just new products that I need to create, but what kind of sales I'm looking at, how long I would be putting the sale for. So that's what I was trying to figure out on these first 2 days. And then same goes for on the 3rd and the 4th as well. These colors have some references, so I was using that so that I can reference it later right here. And this is kind of like a work in progress even now, for that matter. Everything that needs to be done for my shop anniversary has been done, but I'm going to be using this page and coming back to it later on in the upcoming months so that I can figure out things for my business. And Monday was basically, I think, most of the weekly planning. I just doodled, some clouds and a bunch of sad tulips is what I would like to call them. And I really like these sad tulips because I tend to come to these quite a bit for some reason, and you will see pretty soon. On the 7th is when you will start seeing that these planner spreads start getting heavier and more on the creative side, because I was planning, depending on what I was planning on the 3rd, I was actually trying to doodle out things that I need to make, and I had intended to make 2 notepads for my shop anniversary, and this is actually a mock-up of one of the ones that I created, and this was just me drawing it out on this page and figuring out the dimensions and what exactly I would be writing on there. And I do have a finished product. This is what it is, and see the repetition of the sad flower emojis. And this is what this is kind of exactly what I had figured out with the tiny dots and the this is actually a sample. This is for myself. Every notepad is made to order. So depending on, when I get the order and when I receive the order, that's when I start making these, because these do take quite a bit of time to cut and glue and assemble. So this is the one that I use for my photography, and this is the exact replica of what I was doing. Yeah. On the 8th, I was planning to create a second notepad, and this is just ideas. Obviously, it took way longer than just one day for me to make it, but this was the overall idea. And so I did prepare this one. This is a sandhill crane, and I live in Florida, and Florida is filled with sandhill cranes, and they appear in my house as well, like behind my in my backyard, and they show up occasionally from time to time. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see a bunch of stories of them showing up and just lounging about, And this is actually I had taken a picture of a sandhill crane from my on my phone, and I had drawn it in one of my, I think I drew it in the planner spread. Yes, I did. So this is the sandhill crane that I drew on this planner spread based on the one that showed up in my backyard. And safe to say, people do like it as well. This is also a sample. I had used this for photography. September 9th is, again, me figuring out what I need to do, how to announce things on my social media, and I was doodling the logo of the Mochi Cloud, which is what you see here in the starting of the planner. This is my shop logo. This is my cloud with a bunch of leaves. So I was having this little cloud holding a cake with a candle that says 1. And I was just doodling some ideas, very rough sketches. This is a piece of vellum, which I've just stuck on. When I started doing the spread, it was, I started with a green, and obviously I did like the way that the green looked, so I tend to put more green in the spread. And this is just another excerpt from a manga. I start getting pretty busy right up until, the week, when the week starts, which is the 11th and 12th. I'm sorry if you can hear the mowers are in our lawn, so I'm sorry if there's way too much background noise, so sorry about that. Same goes for the 13th and the 14th. I spend a lot of time there was a lot of work that I had to do. So I was, creating these notepads take quite a bit. It takes an entire day to cut, and it almost takes an entire day to assemble as well after the cutting process, and it takes another day to get everything ready. So I was kind of running on fumes towards the start of the week, of the 17th, because obviously I had to get the product done so that I can at least start my photography on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, and then start listing things as soon as possible, because I had to list them both on my website and on Etsy. And this is when it starts getting like go time for me. So on the 15th is, I generally, you can even see there's nothing for the home, because I was just working on the shop anniversary part. I also start highlighting the things that I have to get done that day. So this is something that happens to me, that generally if I don't finish something, like for example, I haven't crossed out this, I had to do some packaging materials for, these notepads. I had not done that on the 14th while I had planned for it. So for example, even though that's not a priority, but on the 15th, I figured there are certain things that I have to do, and I start highlighting them. And 16th is basically me setting up all my videos for Instagram, for YouTube. And of course, I did have to film a video for YouTube, which we will get into in the next spread. But I think I had done most of the work until the 16th. I just needed to do a little bit more admin work. And the 17th is when I woke up very early on the 17th, which is, it was a Saturday, but still I did have some stuff to do. I had to schedule the sales, make sure all the listings are fine, get all my social media posts lined up. And of course, if you haven't seen, I actually filmed me planning this portion on my work with me video that I will link up here. And I did do a little doodle of my happy 1-year anniversary. And of course, this is the Mochi Cloud. I feel very accomplished. This was a big accomplishment for me. Yeah. And this drawing is actually, I did not do the drawing on the 17th. I did it on the September 21st. And I was looking through Pinterest trying to find some images of cakes that I could draw, because it was, a celebration. But I didn't like anything that I saw, so I found one of a paint bottle and a paintbrush, and I actually liked it pretty well. So I just doodled this. Later on, from the 18th onwards, of course, I was trying to pack the orders as and when they came. And of course, if I did receive orders for this, I had to spend quite a bit of time assembling this, because it does take quite a bit. And of course, I think I spent the majority of the 19th and the 20th, these loose pages that you see here, figuring out my 2023 planner system lineup. And the first page was me trying to write my thoughts, and the second page was me trying to completely make sure that this will work. And I just stuck them with, again, this Scotch tape, loose pages here, and yeah, this was working actually. And on the 20th, my biggest achievement was placing my Hobonichi order on hold at location at the Walgreens near me, because it was here apparently. On the 21st, I did have a few orders to pack on my Shopify store. I did have to send my newsletters out because we were approaching end of sale, which was on the 24th. And this was me just trying to, solidify my planner system lineup for 2023. I think most of my time for the 22nd went on filming my video. And of course, I didn't have much to write on the 23rd. And I was just doodling this is a Polaroid camera. I doodled this on the September 26th, so way later. And by Saturday and Sunday, we kind of got to know that Hurricane Ian is heading our way, and I think this was when, you know, stuff hit the fan, for lack of a better term. So it was, it was on the 25th. I was trying out these. I was actually filming my Hobonichi unboxing on the 23rd, on the 24th, and the 25th. So this is when we knew, and it just happened really quick, that we were trying to get everything ready because it was approaching Florida pretty in a way that it would hit us in probably as a category 2 hurricane. And we were trying to find how to get shutters done, and I think this was the day that I wouldn't say panicked, but you start feeling that. And I was remembering back when Hurricane Irma hit, and the kind of feeling that we had. And so I was just writing Ian with a very disappointed emoji right there. Nothing much on the Tuesdays and the 28th, because I had to put my shop on vacation because obviously it was not going, I could not fulfill any orders. And one of the things that happened was that we did put shutters on our windows, and it was my first time experiencing that here. And it was weird trying to stay in darkness all the time, because even though I'm not somebody who goes out a lot, I'm very much a homebody. I do like having the sunlight in my workroom because I cannot do anything. Especially I was feeling very claustrophobic, and I was feeling that it was everything was closed, like all the windows, and luckily it didn't hit where I live. So it was extremely windy and rainy, but it did pass after a day. And obviously, the situation was that we could not get our shutters down immediately because there were other priority tasks for roofing companies. So we had to wait a couple of days after Hurricane Ian passed to bring our shutters down. So it was, the feeling of staying in darkness was like really overwhelming. And yeah, that's not something that I want to experience again. And of course, the 20th and 29th were days that I wanted to work, but I couldn't work at all. And I think on the 30th is when we finally took out the shutters from our room. And I was pretty happy on this day. On the 30th, I did make another purchase at the Hobonichi store. This was for the One Piece release. And I was in and out pretty quickly, and I was able to acquire things that I had favorited. That has been my month. It was kind of chaotic, I would say. It was a little all over the place. I'm also enjoying the way that my own planning style is changing. Like the way that I have now split things, and my use of stickers and some notepads that I do have. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know how your month of September has gone in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.